I want to note that as a council, we are addressing the issue of natural gas in our community from a much more holistic standpoint. We have recently begun negotiations on a new heating franchise for the city.
Ann Arbor City Council member Jen Iyer defended her vote to approve dozens of new apartments that will be heated with natural gas. That was the City Council meeting on Monday, December 18th, 2023. And this is Few Things Considered from A2 Council Update. In their last meeting of 2023, Ann Arbor City Council approved a rezoning and expanded site plan for a new development at Pontiac Trail in Varren called The Village. A new site plan adds 11 acres and 120 additional apartments, which will be heated with natural gas. In March 2023, The Village received $31 million in public subsidy through the Brownfield Tax Abatement Program. Developers of The Village requested $26 million of reimbursement for environmental activities and $5 million of reimbursement for other activities. According to city and county brownfield policy, developers may be eligible for subsidy and reimbursement for non-environmental activities, but only if they provide affordable housing units on site or make payments in support of affordable housing elsewhere. A staff report explains how the Brownfield Plan for the Village failed to meet policy requirements for affordable housing units or payments in lieu. Council liaison to the Planning Commission, Lissa Spitz, explained.
The developer would normally be required to provide a 15% affordable housing component or payment in lieu. Now, it is within the discretion of council to refuse to waive this requirement, which was waived by the Brownfield Committee. Council should do that if council judges that this proposal does not offer enough benefits to justify the waiver. I believe the facts and benefits of the project justify a waiver.
Residents spoke out.
At least 30 of the 46 new housing developments announced since the approval of the A20 plan will be natural gas connected. The Village of Ann Arbor's 440 planned garden apartments in 2 phases are among them. There is no reason to approve the Village project tonight. Moreover, it makes no sense to provide $31 million in brownfield incentives when the project does not include any affordable housing units and it will be heated with natural gas.
Others spoke.
We want higher density multifamily housing where possible, but not at the expense of our A20 plan. One benefit of high density development is fewer emissions, but gas furnaces completely defeat the purpose.
It is absolutely clear from engineering calculations that benefits from reduced commutes and reduced vehicle miles traveled are substantially less than the negative impact from this development burning natural gas. This is not a matter of canceling the project, not doing the project. This is a matter of improving on the project. It can be done. It is being done all over the place. It is being done in this city, and it can be done with this project.
The $26 million to protect the residents from contaminants is necessary. I agree with that. But they're also asking for $5 million for non-environmental, non-remediation activities.
A representative for the developer spoke.
The plan was vetted by the Council Brownfield Subcommittee. It was a unanimous vote. So that was in January.
In January 2023, council members Jen Cornell, Jen Iyer, Aisha Ghazi Edwin, and Cynthia Harrison served on the Brownfield Plan Review Committee. The agenda for their January meeting included approval of the $31 million subsidy for the village, as well as a proposal to wholly eliminate the committee. For Cornell, Ghazi Edwin, and Harrison, this was their first and only opportunity to participate in the Brownfield Plan Review Committee. In January, they had served on council for less than 2 months. As of January 2024, 1 year later, the city has still not posted the minutes from that meeting or who was in attendance. Council voted unanimously to approve over $31 million in brownfield tax abatement for the village, including over $5 million for non-environmental activities. In May 2023, 2 months after approving the Village Brownfield Plan, City Council moved forward with dissolving the Brownfield Plan Review Committee. Residents spoke out.
But you simply do not have the time or the bandwidth at your meetings to to fully vet these complex and opaque plans.
A couple hours a year of oversight and a couple hours a year of listening to public commentary on these sorts of efforts seems like a good investment.
Requests for public subsidy and brownfield tax abatement are reviewed and approved by both City Council and the Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners. The county is discouraged from second-guessing plans that have been approved by City Council. For example, on April 19th, the county board discussed the brownfield proposal for the village in Ann Arbor. They debated the plan for nearly an hour and questioned some of the terms. In response, administrative staff discouraged any changes.
The first stop in any approval is that local unit. We don't ever see a plan unless that local unit approves it. All the kind of the nuance here that we've been talking about was all done at the City of Ann Arbor level.
In May 2023, council members asserted that eliminating the Brownfield Plan Review Committee would increase public participation and transparency.
This is not going to reduce the level of scrutiny. I think the hope is for this body is that we'll provide better information to the entire body.
Council could still disagree, but the debate can happen at the council table rather than in this commission. So I'll be supporting this.
If we dissolve the review committee, we will eliminate one thing only, which is the inefficient use of a precious resource, and I am talking about the time and effort of our planning staff and development team.
To suggest dissolving this committee removes oversight from the process is dishonest at worst, and at best, it shows a complete and fundamental lack of knowledge around the process itself.
Since the committee is only composed of 4 council members and there are no members of the public on this committee, no additional expertise is added at that stage. And there's also no way for staff to know if the opinion of those 4 council members represents a consensus opinion of council or even the majority of opinion of council.
A subset of 4 or 5 council members regularly provide feedback to staff as representatives of the whole. Every member of council participates in at least one of these subcommittees to consider issues in public meetings with opportunities for public comment and thorough discussion without the time constraints of a regular council meeting. Councilmember Cornell serves on one such subcommittee. It happens that Councilmember Watson serves on 3.
Instead of a small committee that meets, quietly when the public isn't paying attention and receives the presentation from the developer at that point, that part is going away. The entire body here will receive that presentation from the developer and will be able to consider the plan as a body. I want that substantive discussion to happen here at the council table. And that is where it will happen when we, if this passes and we do dissolve that and bring that discussion to the council as a whole.
Since dissolving the Brownfield Plan Review Committee, City Council has considered one Brownfield award, an additional $600,000 to support a new development on Detroit Street. This is the sum total of council discussion that occurred.
Public hearing number 3, resolution to approve the amended 303 North 5th and 314 Detroit redevelopment Brownfield Plan. Is there anyone in-house who would like to speak at this public hearing?
Good evening. I'm Greg Kopp with 330 Detroit Street. We're the locally based developer of the project at 2723 South State Street. I just want to note that we agree with the staff report that makes recommendation for approval based on the fact that we meet the city's brownfield policy and the state Brownfield Act requirements. And I'm here to answer any questions you might have. Thanks.
Thank you. DB1, resolution to approve the amended 303 North 5th and 314 Detroit redevelopment Brownfield Plan. Moved by Councilmember Dish, seconded by Councilmember Radina. Discussion, please, of DB1. All in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
In September 2023, mayoral appointees on the city's planning commission revisited discussion of the village development at Pontiac Trail in Varren. Developers of the village requested an expansion of the development. A site plan for the village was first approved in 2022. That plan included 484 housing units on 68 acres. 2 rezoned parcels will be added to the development. A new expanded site plan added 11 acres and 120 rental units for a total of 604 housing units on 78.5 acres. At the Planning Commission, the developer concluded his presentation.
To bring the project to fruition took a lot of time and effort and thought and help from you, help from the city council, and we appreciate, we're very happy with where we're at.
At a public hearing, residents pointed out again how the development plans failed to meet A20 goals for sustainable development.
My name is Rich Fein. I'm a member of the Ann Arbor chapter of the Citizens Climate Lobby. I lead their building, electrification, and efficiency action team. Back in July of last year, you were told in a commission meeting that operating costs for heat pumps were much more than for gas. Yes, in Ann Arbor, utility costs for heat pumps are higher. It's due to our high electric rates and our low gas rates. But the burden to the renters is much less than what you heard. Relating this to the 120 apartments at the Village. A preliminary analysis for its two-bedroom apartments, and I will repeat preliminary, shows the cost difference is likely to average around $10 per month.
Hi, I am Dr. Larry Junk. I am a professor emeritus in U of M Medical School, here to speak against the plan of Robertson Brothers to incorporate gas furnaces and gas water heaters in the villages of Ann Arbor. As a physician knowledgeable about air pollution and climate change, I'm very concerned about the bad health consequences from climate change caused by the burning of gas.
I'm here to beg you to do the right thing on Phase 2 of the Village project and further at every opportunity. Please use your position to help end fossil fuel. Reject this site plan amendment until Robertson Brothers agrees to an all-electric plan for all units. You are not locked into approval. You could postpone, request more information, or simply vote no.
On May 7th, I hosted the first annual A2 Climate Teach-In at Genesis in Ann Arbor. In a couple of years from now, people will look back at this so-called controversy about continuing to install gas and wonder why it was even considered. It's time that we stop installing gas now, not only at the Village of Ann Arbor, but for any new construction.
My name is David Gurk, and I'm representing Washtenaw Climate Reality this evening. Please, I'm just going to echo what my colleagues said earlier. Please don't let this through.
The 164 for-sale homes, they'll be all electric. The solar street lights and the clubhouse solar, I don't know how widely known this is, but you and I are paying for that, not the developer. It's been incorporated in the Brownfield Plan for this site. $1.32 million for the heat pumps, $440,000 for the solar panels, plus $1.171 million in carrying costs for the above. So developer, in my mind, doesn't get points for this. And I personally think that we, as the public, should not be paying for something that developers should be doing already.
Council liaison to the Planning Commission, Lissa Dish, responded.
This is a small piece of a project that has been that has required a whole lot to bring it to fruition. I think that we would have negotiated in bad faith if we did not allow this last bit of this project to go through and welcome the green space that these residents will have.
The new site plan was approved unanimously by mayoral appointees on the city's Planning Commission and sent to City Council. At their meeting on December 18th, Council considered both rezoning and the expanded site plan for the village. Residents spoke out again.
The 440 gas-burning apartments will dump 2,738 metric tons CO2 equivalent emissions in the atmosphere each year just from gas. Remember that CO2 stays in the atmosphere for centuries, heating the planet. So a decision to install new fossil fuel infrastructure like the one you'll be making tonight has a very long tail, at least 20 generations. That's the reality of the science. We should have declined the owner's original annexation request until they could find a developer willing to meet the city's standards. Such developers are out there, and they want to build in Ann Arbor.
Most new developments, especially for affordable housing, are being built all electric. There's no current evidence that developers of multifamily communities will flee to the townships if prodded to build all electric. especially if they are incentivized.
This project is too big and too important to let it move forward with gas. We must push them on this.
The developer weighed in.
And again, we have agreed to the 164 townhomes as all electric. It is cost implications, particularly with this last phase here, which are smaller units.
Council members weighed in.
We have a housing crisis. We need to build as much housing as we can, as quickly as we can in this city.
We work with developers to bring forward projects, and this project has come a significant way.
The vote to add 120 gas-fueled apartments to the village development at Pontiac Trail in Varren was like all other items on this agenda. It was approved unanimously. For more information about this meeting, visit a2council.com or subscribe to this channel